Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams, and we're back with another one of our 20-plus player review videos, our end of season player review videos. This one is on Seamus Coleman. This one's on Seamus Coleman, club captain. Had an up and down season, I think he's been left out to pasture a little bit, or whatever the saying is. I think he's been left hung to dry. I think he's been hung to dry. And he's as much of an Everton legend as Leighton Baines is. But Baines had the sense, I think, to ride off into the sunset at the right time. And Seamus Coleman is still pushing and pushing. I have got his stats for this season and some other stuff, which we'll get into right now. So this season, he's played 30 games, scored 1 goal, got 4 yellow cards. He's got an XG of 1.3, so his chance, he has scored 1 goal for that, and then his other chance that he's had is like 0.3. His goal was inside the box; it was headed. He's had 4 shots off target, 13 chances created, 951 passes. 49 attempted dribbles, 34 of them successful, 61 attempted tackles, 36 of them successful, 74 clearances and 32 interceptions. We'll get on to his worst and best game in a minute. I've just got some more in-depth stats for you right here. This is compared to the other fullbacks in the Premier League. On our FB ref, when it says similar players, a couple that pop up. 2 of them currently play for us in Ben Godfrey and Vitaly Mikalenko. In terms of goals, he's got 0.03 goals a game. That is just 0.1 below the average. Ben Chilwell's well up there with 0.5. But then after that, they're quite neutral because these are all attacking. And you don't really think of attacking when you think of your fullback, not a goal scorer in any way. Maybe chance creation, goals. You don't really think of that. His non-penalty expected goals per shot is 0.12, which I think might be the top in the Premier League. It's just behind Doherty up there. This is his big one though, his passing. He's completed 30 passes, attempted 41. The 30 that he's completed is quite a lot below the Premier League average. Zinchenko is right up there with 81.4, who we've been linked with this summer, and who, when he plays midfield, is absolutely phenomenal. So Coleman is below that. His pass completion is below the Premier League average as well by quite a bit. It's 73%. His pass completion. A lot of his passes are way below. Passes into the final third, he's got 3.8 a game, 3.08. That is right up there. It's above the Premier League's average by a full good amount. Not the highest though. Kyle Walker has that to his name. So it's not really that impressive. His progressive passes is 2.85 a game, which is below the average again. Trent is top of that one. As you could probably imagine. For Seamus, it's in terms of chance created, he's got 1.36 crosses a game, which is below the average. It's not great. The stats aren't brilliant for him here. Not going forward anyway. He's had passes. His passing's not been very good. We'll get into his defensive actions because maybe they are better, and they are a lot better. I don't think this is a Seamus Coleman of 5 years ago, where he'd be a lot better in his passing. He's got 2.44 tackles a game, which is above the Premier League average. He wins 1.42 tackles a game, again above the average in that. Tackles in the attacking third, he's got 0.37. That's right up there above the average. Really impressive, really impressive. So he pushes high. Percentage of dribblers tackled is 61.7, way above the average. Nearly one of the top players in the league for that. He gets dribbled past 0.61 times. That's below average as well in the league, which is really good. His successful pressures are 36.9. He doesn't make as many pressures compared to the league, but when he does, they are successful, and he is right up there. Only Danny Rose beats him for that. So again, really impressive by Seamus Coleman. He's just above average in clearances, shots blocked as well. In possession, his dribbles are above the average as well. He unfortunately has 0.61 missed controls a game, which is above the Premier League's average. And same with like fouls committed. Penalty kicks won, 0.03 as well, and ball recoveries is just above the average. So as you can probably tell by a lot of these stats, he's a bit more defensive than he is attacking. Maybe, like I said, Seamus Coleman 10 years ago, 5 years ago would be up there. But alas, that's not the Seamus Coleman we're looking at anymore. I don't think he's got that in him anymore, the energy. So we're looking at a different Seamus Coleman, which is a shame. And a lot of people have been saying this. He's been held out to dry. We should be getting a new right back. We said this in the summer. We got Patterson in January, I believe, but he's not ready to come in. So Seamus Coleman is still out to do that job. John Joe Kenny, who somehow earned himself a new contract at the club. And this is my biggest criticism of John Joe Kenny. If you can't get in over a 33-year-old Seamus Coleman, who is probably past his best now, if he's still keeping you out of the team, then what do you bring to the table if you can't get in over the 33-year-old right back? You're a younger player. You should be taking him out the team. That's what he was bought for, to be the successor of Shane. Well, not bought, he came through the academy, but that's what he was groomed to do, take over from Coleman, and he's not done that. So it leaves a question, what is his point? What is his purpose? But yeah, that for me is very, very daunting, telling, of John Joe Kenny in his position at the club. I have got Seamus Coleman's worst and best games here. His worst game is probably the derby against Liverpool that we lost 4-1 at home. He got a 4.3, the lowest out of everybody. I mean, he was marking either Mane or Salah that game, Mane. Accurate passes weren't very good. No dribbles completed, no accurate crosses. Dispossessed twice. Only won half his tackles, 1 clearance, 7 recoveries. Didn't win half of his dual ground battles. Did win all of his aerial battles, and he committed 1 foul. That's not good enough. And it was a poor game for Seamus Coleman, which is, this was 4-1 against Liverpool, and it was Rafa Benitez in charge. So, it was the one where Rafa Benitez was practically gleaning at the top. I would personally say maybe the Leeds game, or I know he did well in the Leicester game, the 1-1 draw with Leicester. I'd probably go with the Leeds game. That was the one he got his goal in. He had 1 goal with his 1 shot. His XG for the shot or the header was 0.76, so it was a good chance, and he converted that. Moving on from his goal, obviously, because that's not what he's known for. Above average pass for dribbles, 100%, accurate long balls. He wasn't dispossessed. He won half of his tackles, cleared twice, 6 recoveries. Was only dribbled past once, which he was marking Rafinha for this. 3/4 of his ground duels, half of his aerial. He was marking Harrison. Rafinha was John Joe Kenny's problem, which, by the way, John Joe Kenny, for all the slander I've just given, did very, very well in this game. This is probably the only game I can safely say he played well at, and he did it at left back. But yeah, this was probably Coleman's best game. I think he did really well in this. This was a good game overall. Obviously, Gordon getting his goal. Seamus Coleman and Michael Keane got a goal as well. Overall, I would give Seamus Coleman probably a 5. probably a 5 to be honest. He's not fully impressed me, but I think it's quite sad because by now you'd have somebody else coming in to take over Coleman. We've brought a 19-year-old who's not ready just yet. We should have brought somebody who's ready now because that's what we need. But alas, we didn't. We have just give John Joe Kenny a new contract. I don't think he's good enough, but you know, Everton will do what Everton do. But yeah, I think it's a bit sad that obviously he's getting, people are saying you're not good enough and all of that. But he is a club. I think he's, as much of a club legend as Leighton Baines is. At one point, we had two of the best fullbacks in the league. It was a great time. Age catches up to everybody, and I think it's caught up with Seamus Coleman. But yeah, don't forget to let me know your thoughts on Seamus Coleman down below in the comments. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I'll see you guys very soon.